because you are watching a master at work.
Guys are out here hosting webinars and doing things like that. I'm going to show you guys how to structure your webinar funnel to make money from a free webinar before the webinar even starts. You can generate hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on what you have to offer throughout your webinar. I'm going to let me pop up all the pages here first, and then I'll go through each page and explain them. And then we can talk about any automation sequences afterwards, right? Alright, so the first page is just going to be your free webinar, the registration page, right? We're going to talk about the webinar page. This is going to be, what is your webinar about? Talk about what your webinar is about. Throw your logo up there, give them what they'll learn in the webinar. Select your target audience. Who is your target audience? Make sure they know who the webinar is for. If you have testimonials of other people that have benefited from whatever you're teaching in the webinar, post those on there. Definitely want to have a bio. Because this was a two-person webinar, we had a dual bio. It kind of came out a little big like this, but when it's a single-person bio, it's a lot easier, right? But that's pretty much it for your registration page. Make sure you have a pop-up. This is going to capture the lead. Remember, first name, last name, email, phone number. That is all you need, but those are also the most important things you need for capturing a lead. Once they've entered their information, they then go to the next page. So this is where automation comes in. Let's go back. If they've entered their information on this page, we can have automation set up where they're tagged as join the webinar. We can then add them to a lead nurturing, which is either lead nurturing for the webinar, lead nurturing for whatever the webinar is about. Whatever you want to do with that information, do as you will, right? On the next page, so after they've submitted on this page, this is where making money comes in. On the next page is our first offer. So mind you, they've already secured their seat, but they don't know that. So notice at the top of this page, I say your seat is almost secure. Do not close this page. Watch the video and scroll to the bottom to secure a seat. I'm giving them direct instructions. Pause. Your seat still isn't secure. Watch the video and scroll to the bottom of the page. I'm telling them, your seat's not secure yet. Watch the video. It's like less than 60 seconds. And then scroll to the bottom of the page. There's a reason why I tell them that. And this is going to be here, right? So I say, hey, watch the video. I'm telling them, hey, listen, thank you for registering for the webinar. But before we get to the webinar, I'm going to give you a deal. I'm giving you guys a deal that can better prepare you for the webinar. In the webinar, I'm teaching them how to make 100K. I know that in order to make 100K, your credit has to be structured a certain way, right? Instead of boring them during the webinar and telling them that, I'm just wowing them with gold all throughout the webinar. So if you want to be an immediate action taker and somebody that wants to, get it done during the webinar, you're going to need to have a 700 credit score. In order to get a 700 credit score, I'm offering you this three-piece bundle, which consists of my Get It Out of Credit Card Debt mini course, a Do-It-Yourself Credit Repair ebook, and an Ultimate Secrets Lenders List. So now you can fix your credit, you can pay down your utilization on any current credit cards, and I'm telling you which credit cards you need to get in order to get the higher limits on those credit cards. Those are the three key factors that will help you immediately obtain 100K during the webinar, right? I tell them that in the video. Then I also say, remember, I say scroll down, because if they don't want the bundle, they can literally just say no thanks. They don't have to buy the bundle. They can say no thanks. Here's the kicker. If they don't buy the bundle, notice I have on the very next page. It looks pretty much the same, right? Look at this. Look at this, and then look at that. Different video. This video is me pausing and saying, hey guys, you might want to reconsider. Because I understand the importance of this bundle, I'm going to offer it to you for half the cost. So notice on the first page, the bundle was $29.99. On the second page is only $14.99 for the exact same thing. The difference is I am telling them I really need you to have this understanding. I don't want you to waste your time nor my time on this webinar if you're not going to have the tools that you need to actually utilize the things that I'm going to say in the webinar. So please reconsider and scroll down to the bottom. Again, they don't have to do it. but this is a second chance to make money. So on the first page, action takers are probably going to buy that. So now for my free webinar, remember the webinar is free, I'll be making $30 per person from that webinar. The people that don't immediately take that action, they might fall back to the downsell offer, and then I could grab them for $14.99 instead. It's a free webinar that hundreds of people are going to sign up because they heard the word free, and now it gives me the opportunity to make anywhere from $15 to $30 per person before the webinar even starts. Then we go down to the bottom. Let's say that they just say no to both of them. You know, like I said, they don't have to buy it. Cool. They then come to the third page. Now they know that their seat has been secure. Don't close this window. The webinar is pausable. So we did a live webinar and recorded it. This is the webinar here, so they can actually watch the webinar, and it tells them everything in the webinar here. It says, hey, look, join our free Facebook community. They'll click here. We've already set up the link to take them to the page for the community. Well, you saw it loaded into Facebook. Give yourself 90 minutes to watch it in its entirety. It's about 90 minutes long. And then they can text ready to our text number, which will send them a special link to sign up for the mentorship if they choose to do so. These are things that we got. These are things that we covered in the live webinar. But because the webinars are pre-recorded, we just let them know, hey, look, step 1, join the community. Step 2, watch the video. Step 3, text ready when you're ready. And then this is a checklist of things that they needed to have done for the live webinar. A lot of people did it, but this is just a checklist to give them something to do in case people get anxious prior to the webinar, right? Now, let's talk about automations for everything. So the first thing is automating all of my buttons. Notice every section has a button. Grab your seat, grab your seat, grab your seat. They all make a pop-up. Every single one of these buttons make the same pop-up. So in order to do that in our free webinar, let's go to edit page. In order to make that button pop up for all of our pages, all we have to do is click the button itself, move my big head, scroll down to the bottom, and then our button action, we're gonna make it open, pop up. Same thing with this one, same thing with that one. You know, it just opens the pop-up for each of the buttons. Now to see the pop-up, you click here where it says pop-up, and now we can edit the pop-up. Do it however you want. This is a specific form. This is my webinar sign-up form, and then we can have the pop-up do its job. And that's how we do our first page. I gave you the breakdowns. If you guys, when you get to the testimonial section, video testimonials are stronger than word testimonials. If you can get a screenshot with the person's name and face, so people can see, oh, this is actually a real person, then those are great. Those are great as well. But just having somebody type out a testimonial isn't going to be as strong because anybody can type it out. So seeing a real person is definitely going to be the strongest form of a testimonial, but the next best thing would be a written testimonial that has a face to match with. And that'll cover the first page. Let's go ahead and exit them out as we do them. The second page, the offer page. The offer page doesn't have to be overly extravagant. You really don't want it to be that expensive. And the reason why I say this is because the more you make it, the more expensive you make it, the less likely someone is going to buy it, depending on your target audience. Now, let's say you're holding a free webinar to show people how to make $1 million. You shouldn't be, well, first off, you shouldn't have a free webinar to make $1 million. But if you're talking in the world of credit, or if you're trying to show barbers how to do something that really isn't going to cost you a lot of money that you can then upsell throughout the webinar, your upsell offer can be anywhere from a $5 offer to a $500 offer. I chose $30 because what I did was I wanted to make it 10% of whatever value I was giving. So because of my 3 ebooks, my one course and my 2 ebooks, I sell them all at $99 each. Actually, no, I messed that up. So the mini course was $149, and then one of the ebooks was $97 and one was like $47. But the total value ended up being about $297. So I was like, okay, 10% of that, about $30. And that's how I came up with my pricing. Whatever you're going to bundle, you want to make sure that you're overvaluing the bundle, which wants to prompt people to get it. Notice I also had a video to explain to them why this bundle made sense. The bundle that you offer should be parallel to the webinar that you're presenting. If you have a webinar that is teaching people how to ride a bike and your bundle is teaching people how to build a house, that does not go together, right? You know what I'm saying? So you want the bundle and the webinar to match. Whatever your webinar is about, make sure that your bundle can complement that so they want to buy it to strengthen the webinar. The next page is the Are You Serious? I call this the Are You Serious page. They didn't get the bundle. That's cool. Now I'm asking, listen, man, are you serious? Because if you're serious, then you really should get this bundle. This bundle is going to help you get everything you need. I don't want to waste our time. And I say our time because they're wasting your time too, as well as you wasting or wasting their own time if they don't get the bundle and they really don't want to take the information that you're giving them in a webinar to execute. As where there are only a certain amount of seats, you're filling somebody else's seat who could have been serious. Make this Are You Serious cost half the cost of the first page. So because mine was 30, this is only going to be 15. This video is literally replicating me saying something like, hey, listen, I see that you didn't get that bundle, and I just want to make sure that you're serious about learning on this webinar, because if you're not, you can give that seat to somebody else. So with that being said, I want to let you know, like, listen, I'm going to give you this bundle again. I'm going to offer you the exact same bundle, but I'm going to offer it to you for $14.99. How's that sound? Maybe $30 was too much for you, and if it was, it's okay. But this is your opportunity to get that exact same bundle for half the price. And then having them scroll down and try to buy it. The last page is going to be the actual webinar. This is because it's not a live webinar. When we had the live webinar scheduled, this was a video of just thanking them, telling them we'll see them on that specific date, and then to follow the steps below. All of the steps below stayed the same for the most part. The only difference is this is now the webinar versus this being a thank you video and then telling them to do the steps. Step 3 wasn't there. It was just step 1 and step 2. Step 3 wasn't text ready because I didn't want anybody texting it before the webinar actually started and then feeling like they didn't understand what the offer was. But that's all the steps, and that is how you make money from a free webinar. That is how you generate revenue from a free webinar before the webinar even starts. I believe we did about, I don't even actually remember. I know it was like I want to say 18,000. I can't be too sure on the number, but we made a nice bit on this webinar, which goes to show you free doesn't always have to be free. So start making money on your free webinars, and this is how.